Minneapolis.
Jason, thank you so much for having me. As we speak, our Homeland Security investigators, hundreds are on the ground. They're knocking doors. They're going to local businesses. They're going to these sites where we believe that there is rampant, whether it be daycare centers, healthcare centers, or other organizations that take taxpayer dollars. Our Homeland Security investigators on the ground are also seeing that these suspected perpetrators are really trying to cover their tracks. They're trying to whitewash the operational facts on the ground, purporting to be a legitimate business, have legitimate business operations, when it's all a fugazi. So we're going to continue to ask those questions. We're learning more and more, especially with the FBI.
Okay, so the Trump administration is announcing some pretty big news in regards to what's happening in Minneapolis right now, and really the entire state of Minnesota. Check it out.
And this, in Governor Walz's state in Minnesota, is something the Trump administration has been working on since day one. And since Nick Shirley's journalism really brought this issue further to light, we have surged resources across the board to the state. So I want your audience to understand this is a top priority for the administration. The Department of Justice, as we speak, is continuing to execute search warrants and subpoenas. People will be in handcuffs.
Okay, so this is a very big deal because over the last few days, Homeland Security has been letting everyone know we have more agents on the ground and they are going door to door and conducting investigations. And now the Trump administration is letting everyone know not only do we have more federal resources on the ground, you can expect people to be arrested here pretty soon.
The result of that Governor Walz has allowed to occur for many, many years. The Department of Homeland Security is conducting door-to-door investigations on the ground at potential sites, and they're also, of course, conducting continued deportations of illegal aliens in Minnesota's communities. We're also not afraid to use denaturalization. That's a tool at the President and the Secretary of State's disposal, and it's one this administration has previously used before. I know that.
And that's another big deal. Again, this was never really talked about in regards to what's happening in Minneapolis and St. Paul. There's a lot of media attention on this specific topic, and it looks like the Trump administration is starting to really isolate and put a priority on the mission in Minneapolis and St. Paul. And with this happening, I think we can expect some pushback, more pushback than we are already seeing. I will show you that later in the video.
Health and Human Services Department has also announced we are cutting off all child care funding to the state of Minnesota until we get to the bottom of this. The Department of Labor is investigating their unemployment insurance program. The Department of USDA Agriculture Secretary Rollins weeks ago sent a letter to Governor Walz demanding he turn over every single name of SNAP recipients on the books in Minnesota. And the Minnesota Attorney General actually sued the Trump administration for that.
And real quick, if you haven't already, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. I don't want you guys to miss a thing, and we have been covering Minneapolis and St. Paul for a while, so make sure to also please subscribe. That helps out a lot. Now, there's a lot of eyeballs on the story of Minneapolis and St. Paul as far as these federal operations that are currently being conducted. But for the new people here, just so you are aware, protesters, advocates, city councilors have been preparing for this moment for a very long time. Here's an article from back in November talking about how protesters were already preparing for months as far as the expected federal surge or federal resources coming into their city. So just so you are aware, people have been waiting for this moment as far as federal agents coming into Minneapolis and St. Paul and the amount of resistance there is currently on the ground. And why does this matter? Well, to Homeland Security, they really are fighting this narrative battle as far as showing everyone, showing America, they're just trying to do the right thing in Minneapolis and St. Paul, yet you have a lot of resistance on the ground and even in the mainstream media.
So he goes to the facilities. Some of them had already been closed for some time. Minnesota officials say that each of the facilities that he visited had been visited at least once in the last 6 months. And so far, they found no evidence of.
And Homeland Security is really pushing back on all of these different levels. Even in the media, we have Homeland Security coming out every single night and letting everyone know what they're doing in the
ground.
Okay, so there's no denying that it looks like a lot of the focus for the media right now has to do with this or alleged in Minnesota and Minneapolis. However, when you really start to dig into what's happening in Minneapolis and St. Paul, it does go beyond that as far as the resistance or as far as the operations going on in Minneapolis. I mean, here's a clip of a protester addressing an ICE agent.
Boy, this is a choice to kidnap people. And by the way, when you get off work, you're still an ICE agent. You don't magically become not an ICE agent because you clocked out. You're an ICE agent all the time, motherfucker, and we fucking see you, non-violently.
And we also have clips like this.
Fuck these guys, they're going out to kidnap people. No plates at all. No plates.
So, as the mainstream media focuses on a lot of the narrative and Homeland Security battles back against this narrative, you also have the pushback on the ground, where protesters or legal observers, as they call themselves, are quite literally tracking the activity of ICE agents throughout Minneapolis and St. Paul. We're talking about on all different levels here. There is a lot of pushback, and again, this is a very unique challenge, a very difficult challenge for Homeland Security in this area of the country. Leave your comments down below how you feel about this. Okay, now from here, I want to segue to Nick Shirley. Now, I don't think Nick Shirley ever intended to become the main focus of what's happening on the ground in Minneapolis, because there's a lot happening, a lot of different operations, yet Nick Shirley is becoming one of the main storylines a lot of the media is focusing on, and that's not his style. I don't think he ever intended for this to happen. But there is also pushback against Nick Shirley on the ground. This video has recently surfaced as Nick is back on the ground in Minneapolis.
How you doing, man?
I just want to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your final objective?
We're not attacking your community by any means.
Are you making good money from this?
We're looking for...
No, I'm
For
not.
instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607?
1 second.
It's not there.
How much money are
Why don't
you...
answer the
How much
question?
money
Where's
are you
617
making?
Dreamline Security.
How much money are you
I
making
make
off
money
of
off
this?
of YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing.
That my job
and attacking
is,
the community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the reason why this is
sir.
happening. All right. Let me tell you the reason why you're
Fraud is
attacking
fraud,
this.
correct?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud.
This is
fraud.
absolutely has to do with us being Muslim.
No, it does not.
All right, and us being from Africa. This is a constitutional argument. If you don't want us here, change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want in this country anymore.
We're not saying
No.
We're
Because
not saying
when I go
Sir,
onto
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud.
I don't think Nick has ever notioned that or ever said that in his video. Ever. In this video.
when I go onto your comments,
My comments
what
are
I see
me.
is people that say we do not want here, kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You are, listen,
That's not what I'm saying.
you're preparing for the community to maybe be taken to concentration camps. Just like the Japanese community, all right? You're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the
listen.
question.
That's a very big accusation. But again, I'm just trying to show you guys this is also happening on the ground in Minneapolis. And by the way, it's not only happening to Nick Shirley, it's happening to others who are on the ground and they want to exercise their right to, be out in public and ask questions and investigate. So again, this is turning into a very unique challenge on all different levels here.
That's something that can jeopardize
Answer the
the
question.
safety and the protection of the
Fraud.
community.
We're talking
If
about
anything
fraud, sir.
happens to the
Talking
community,
about
listen,
fraud.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not physically touching
You're
him.
getting very close.
I'm not physically touching him. No, I'm not physically touching him.
This is
What
we're
you're
talking about
doing,
fraud.
what you're
You're
doing,
defending fraud.
when
You're
I go
defending
into your
fraud.
comments,
You're defending fraud.
people who hate, want us out of here
people can say
for
what they
being
want. I'm not
Muslim
censoring
are
anybody.
using your material. Islamophobes use your material. People who hate Islam use your material. Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the Constitution.
And by the way, I do want to point out Nick Shirley does have a lot more security right now. And he has been saying publicly that he's been receiving a lot of threats recently as well. Again, the only reason why I'm even talking about Nick Shirley, It's because he has just become a part of the story. Even the Trump administration keeps referring to Nick Shirley and saying thank you for what you have uncovered. But again, a week ago, this was never the storyline. Nobody was talking about Nick Shirley as far as what's happening in Minneapolis. So I just want to reiterate, I'm not really about drama on my channel, but this is what's happening on the ground, not only to Nick Shirley, but also to the other journalists who are covering this story. I have to give you guys all of the different perspectives so you know what's going on here.
But guess what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about
You
fraud.
know, you are what you do.
Fraud.
You hate.
I'm not saying I hate.
You hate. You know you hate. Why are you attacking us? Are we the only community that suffers because of?
We're talking about
Are
fraud.
we the only community that does fraud? Are we the only community that does this?
Okay. This is about fraud.
All right, but there's what 300 providers in all of Minnesota.
There's actually.
I'm not. Don't touch me.
Don't go close.
Do you speak English? Right? Your security doesn't even speak English. Listen, let me tell you something.
See, this isn't a race issue,
Listen. Let me say
is
something. We have what 1,000 providers.
Yeah, you guys have a.
Even it's 2,000 providers.
Okay,
You
sir.
want to sacrifice the safety of
Sir.
80,000 people
We're not
because of fucking 2,000 providers? Are you fucking mad? Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
You're sensationalizing. What about if a mass happens in Minnesota? It will be because of you. It will be because of you. If any gets hurt in Minnesota, it's because of Nick fucking Shirley. If one single gets hurt,
This is about fraud,
it's because of you. Sensationalize this. You son of a bitch. Sensationalize this.
Wow, you're
Get the
very
fuck
nice.
out of our neighborhood.
Very nice.
Get the
Okay, so leave your comments down below how you feel about this. Again, my intentions with showing you all of this is to show you, the opposite perspective, the pushback against what Homeland Security is doing and saying, and also the coverage on the ground. But I also want to show you it's not only on the ground level. Again, we can go back up to the top with the mainstream media, continuing with a CNN clip. And by the way, Nick Shirley has responded to this clip, and he's asking, why are you even talking about me? Again, just to verify or to show you, Nick is not trying to make this about him. I really do think so, because when you go and look into any of Nick Shirley's videos, he really tries to make the story about the story.
So shouldn't he have to provide actual evidence of before just walking up to a building and saying, "What is happening here"?
Who is he? Like, who gave
Wow.
this guy license to go around and say, I couldn't get into daycare centers, the doors were locked? Like, nobody should be able to walk into a daycare center because the doors are locked. These random vigilante justice, something that people in this country know a lot about, these random vigilante justice seekers who ordain themselves like some sort of law enforcement expert, like he's a random YouTuber. And I just find it laughable that the party of the self-proclaimed pro-life people are celebrating cutting off funding to children. The white evangelical crowd who purports to uphold these Christian values are celebrating.
Well, I'm a little offended as a Christian. Wow. I guess. And a YouTuber. I got hit twice in this video. A random YouTuber and a Christian. But that's why we make sure we represent Christ on my channel. That's why I have him on the top here. Let's continue.
Targeting communities because of their ethnicity and cutting off care to children. It's utterly ridiculous. And I have to say, only a deplorable human being can.
And by the way, I do want to say the Catholic Church is the #1 provider as far as when it comes to giving back to the poor, giving back to children, and not only the Catholic Church, but also really all of Christendom, from Orthodoxy to Protestant, evangelical. So just want to point that out. Statistically speaking, if we want to go pound for pound as far as helping those in need, I mean, the stats speak for themselves. I just want to throw it out there.
Not decisively say it is wrong to target this community. We all heard what Donald Trump said from the White House to pretend that this is some sort of opinion versus this opinion. No, we hear this right now. And so we have to call these things out with outrage, with righteous indignation that this type of thing, one day it's a political community, the next day it's another community. What is hard about saying this is awful? What is hard about saying we should all care about children?
And it's not just racist and xenophobic. It's actually dangerous, because what Donald Trump is doing in targeting this community, it's putting American citizens in danger, because it is putting a target on their back. But there's something else that I think is really disturbing, to your point about who this YouTuber is, and that all of a sudden, because he made this video that has gone viral, now DHS and FBI are putting resources into this community all of a sudden.
Well, they're not. I mean, because they actually had already.
Yeah, I do want to fact check here. Just so you guys are aware, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi came out immediately and said, hey, by the way, thank you, Nick Shirley, but just so everybody else knows, we have already been on the ground. We have already been investigating. We just haven't been making it as public. Nick's video just so happened to go super, super, super viral. I mean, I can't even, it's hard to explain how impressive it is and how difficult it is to get that level of virality, even on YouTube. To get 1 million views on a 40-minute video is like insane. That is very difficult to do. So again, this has been happening for a while. As far as the accusations of a random YouTuber, hey, it is what it is. I'm a random YouTuber too, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, those videos that we were showing, those are performed.
I'm more random than Nick.
Pretending like they just found this out.
They're walking into a deli and asking questions and then saying, have a nice day. That's not how you investigate.
Correct.
Actually, to the credit of DOJ, they have been investigating. They have been prosecuting people the way that you actually prosecute people, not sending people to jail.
Okay, so leave your comments down below how you feel about this. Again, the intentions. I always want to reiterate, my intentions when I show you guys these clips, I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm just trying to show you guys, giving you the full perspective, trying to be as fair as possible. A lot of times we kind of get sucked into our own ecosystem of an algorithm, but I think we have to venture out and look at what people are saying, verify it, cross-compare it to what's happening on the ground. That's what we do here, and then you guys can have an educated opinion. But I'm just trying to show you guys, even on the mainstream media, there is a lot of focus on the aspect of Nick Shirley himself, which I find rather interesting to another fellow random YouTuber. Now, recently, this clip surfaced out of Minnesota. I thought you'd find it interesting.
You can film, but stay here.
No. That's not right. No, it's not good.
Do not pass this perimeter. Do not pass this perimeter.
You're harassing in front of the children. What kind of law that? What law you following? You're harassing.
No. Stay over here.
But obviously, I'm telling you don't have a red vest.
And no ID, no badge, no nothing. So what's my right? I can't defend him? Because we're not giving you your qualification.
Police come out, no, man. Yeah, الباقي قاري لقاجين. قاري أنا نقول جويا كيا police كتو كيمانا.
Hella racist, by the way. He looks like it. And now you notice that's the wrong person. It doesn't matter.
Now, according to the people on the ground, they are saying you have the wrong person, you don't have the right person. So I'm just trying to show you guys, as a lot of the media attention is on like one topic occurring in Minnesota, as far as the main topic of concern, which is of course, this is also happening, okay? This is what really is going on the ground as well. Not only the knocking on the doors, these investigations into the possible, but this as well. The other investigations as far as illegal immigration and that sort of thing.
We just ask you for our safety and yours. You can stay at a distance. Okay. Let us do our job, and then once we're done, we're not trying to argue with you. We're not trying to cause any trouble. We already know what's going on out here, right? We're trying to be reasonable. Please be reasonable with us. So for your safety and ours, can you film right here? Let us conduct our investigation. Stay over here in this perimeter. Okay? Do that over here. Let us get done. When we're done, if we're done, you stay.
Okay, but
Okay, so leave your comments down below how you feel about this. Again, this is a lot more common than people realize, but it goes to show when it comes to the narrative battle that is occurring, you really have to dig deep and find these types of clips, because the only way that we're really seeing it is from third-party sources, the people filming themselves, or protesters, or vigilantes. So again, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you feel about this. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I always try to be as fair as possible with my investigations and what I find, and I hope I was able to do that for you guys. And make sure you please pray for peace. We do need that right now. That is always a request I ask the new viewers and the subscribers. Thank you again for everything. Again, let me know how you feel about all of this. In my personal opinion, it looks like Minneapolis and St. Paul has a lot of momentum in favor of the Trump administration as of right now, just because of what I am analyzing and what I'm seeing. But also for Homeland Security, strategically speaking, this is very advantageous because this also allows for Homeland Security to do what they need to do in other sanctuary cities as far as not getting as much media attention. And the only reason why I say this is good for Homeland is because they are getting an increase of attacks on the actual ground. And when there's less attention on Homeland Security, they're able to operate covert like the way they are designed to do as ICE agents. Now, there's always going to be vigilantes. There's always going to be coverage of ICE agents, either locally or on the ground. But when there's national news attention on you, it makes it very difficult to do your job. So in the other jurisdictions around the United States, I personally believe this is very advantageous for Homeland Security to do what they need to do on the ground in the other states and the other jurisdictions. So again, leave your comments down below. Let me know how you feel about all of this, and Happy New Year's. Thank you again so much to everybody. Thank you for all your support. God bless, and we'll see you guys all later.